All right, so I wanted to do a reaction video to Isaac Butterfield because I think he's great in a lot of ways, and at the same time, it's quite cringy, his view of vegans from time to time, So let's go through and check out his video on vegan, one of his videos on vegans, because he's totally butthurt about vegans. Be interesting to see, learn more about that.
Cyclists of the dietary world.
Vegans!
Yes, that's right. Let's have a crack at those fuckwit vegans. Over the last few...
I love his swearing. I love the... As a vegan, I love him swearing at me. I don't know why, but like, it's fun. It's fun.
years, veganism has gained enormous traction online. Why? Isn't it obvious every single Instagram model and their huge norks are hashtag plant-based? I wouldn't blame you for going vegan either. Now don't get me wrong, there are good vegan people. People who just don't want to harm animals. And this video is not about them.
I would say most vegans are people who don't want to harm animals.
This video is about the fuckwit vegan.
Almost no one goes vegan for a reason other than animals and stays vegan. There are people who go vegan because of health reasons, but if they don't have that connection to animal rights, I don't think they're gonna have that much of a chance of staying vegan. Same thing with climate. It's just too inconvenient to naturally just go vegan. You have to make some actual changes in your life to go vegan. It's not hard, but it's certainly defined. You have to make some changes.
Vegans. The ones who treat it like a cult. The ones who will not shut the fuck up about it and tell you that they're a vegan before they tell you anything else about them.
It was funny. It's sometimes true. It's sometimes true. Yeah, vegans identify with their ideology. When you see what's going on in farming and you see how terrible it is, you care about it. Absolutely.
This one's for you, fuckwits. Now, my hatred for extremist, patriotic, fuckhead vegans was only reinforced recently when a large group of these absolute twatbags stormed a Melbourne steakhouse and carried on like a bunch of fucking pork chops. Poor choice of words, perhaps. Have a look at these malnourished dick sniffers running around.
Malnourished is funny. Maybe you're trying to be triggering to vegans, but if you look up, I don't know, whatever body of science you want to use, whether it's the Lancet or the Academy of Nutritionists and Dietetics, they both clearly state that a vegan diet is a well-planned vegan diet is adequate for all stages of life. You can thrive on it. And if you watch the Game Changers documentary that's coming out mid-September, you're going to see actually Olympic athletes are now starting to go vegan. Weightlifters, bodybuilders are starting to go vegan. Malnourished, I don't think so. That's the old thinking. Not nowadays. Not with science.
Ruining everyone's afternoon while people are just sitting there trying to enjoy a $40 fucking steak. I don't want to hear about your love for plants, dickhead. I'm sitting here trying to enjoy a meal that just so happens to be so deliciously nutritious that I'm calm and collected.
You don't sound calm and collected at all. Your meal is not nutritious. Look at the signs of cholesterol, of cancer growth that's in meat. Processed meats is a carcinogen. I think it's like a type 1 carcinogen. It's not good for you. It's not nutritious. But anyways, vegans don't care that you're trying to enjoy a meal because they see your meal as death and exploitation of animals that were innocent and that did not want to die. So your right to enjoy a meal has been trumped by their care for living beings. They don't give a shit about your meal, okay?
Because if I wasn't and you were carrying on like this,
You're going to be embarrassed. You're going to be embarrassed when the world is going more and more vegan and you're a minority saying things like this. It's going to be embarrassing. I know you're doing the whole, like, you know, you like to swear at people and whatever. That's kind of your bit and you're being overly upset, but you need to do a bit of research into your position first. What is the vegan cause? Is it a moral cause? Because if it is, and it makes sense morally, this is going to be embarrassing for you later.
Might get a little bit bloody irate. Fucking skinny, pale, malnourished motherfuckers.
Are you calling someone pale? That's great. That's great. That's great. But anyway, skinny, malnourished. I mean, you know, you've debated vegan gains. You know there are bodybuilders that are completely vegan. Where is this notion coming from? This is a bygone. You're just pulling out these ideas from these stereotypes that no longer exist.
When do we want it? Now! It's not food! It's violence! It's not food! It's violence!
It's not food, it's violence.
Yep.
Let's face the cold hard facts here. Without meat
It's not food, it's violence. Let's face the cold hard facts. Implying, I would suppose, that that's not true. Oh my god, the irony, the hypocrisy, it's amazing.
consumption and violence to animals over time, human evolution may never have happened
Oh, it's gonna be bad.
at all. In fact,
Okay, alright. So the argument is, without causing violence and harm to animals, we may never have gotten to where we are now. That, let's accept it as true, okay? I think actually it is true. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, okay? Vegans, don't get mad at me. I think it's true. But anyway, even if it's true, that doesn't give us moral justification to do whatever the fuck we want to animals now. Because we needed to do that, if it's even true, that doesn't give me the right to, let's say, kill a dog now for no reason, or kill a cow, or kill a human, or do any other sort of violence, right? Your moral code should be, if you can avoid causing suffering and injustice, you should. That's as simple as kind of the vegan, if you had to boil down the vegan argument as you know, concise as possible, it would be, if you can avoid causing violence and suffering and injustice, you should. Anyway, you got it.
studies, including one from Harvard University, had two scientists hypothesize that meat consumption was directly correlated to the growth of the human brain. Now, of course,
Okay, that doesn't matter. That's not, that can be true. We can all accept that as true. Vegans and non-vegans can accept that as true. We don't even need to look at the source. I don't think you have a source. I'll poke around. Sure, I'll poke around. I'll see what we have for sources here. Nope. Okay, no source. Okay, gotcha.
people may dispute that, but I'm definitely going to take the word of two Harvard scientists over some journalist from www.imamadfuckingvegan.net. I said...
Where are your sources? Just post your sources. You're definitely going to take the word of two scientists. Well, let us take the word of the scientists. Let us do that. We don't want to take your word for it. You're a beautiful, gorgeous man with a wonderful beard. But, you know, give us the sources as well.
I said earlier that vegans were like...
But again, even if the sources are true, that doesn't justify senseless killing.
cyclists, and that got me thinking. Imagine a world where cyclists and vegans were the same person. Holy fucking shitballs. What a beautiful world to live in. And then someone on my Instagram, @theButtsman, sent me this.
Fucking can't kill me, man. Kill me, mate. You want to kill me? I'm here. Kill me, man. Every fucking day, car drivers come too close. One day, someone's got to fucking kill me, man. If you want to fucking kill me, I'm fucking here, bro.
Now this dude's
Yeah, I mean, she's pretty irate.
obviously very angry, perhaps because the car came too close. So how do we fix that? Well, one thing you could do as a cyclist is to not ride on the fucking road.
If you want to fucking kill me, I'm fucking here, bro. Alright, man.
Obviously, I don't need to write jokes about this guy because he does it to himself. I mean, look at him, full of adrenaline and screaming and carrying on. He just looks like a crazy human being.
It sounds a bit like you on every one of your videos.
Obviously
But you're doing it as a joke. I think mostly it's a joke.
lacking in B12. Don't get me wrong, I upload videos of me looking like a complete dickhead, but I do so for comedic effect. He's
Alright.
doing it because he thinks it looks good, although I'd
don't
be pretty shitty too.
I don't think he's doing it because he thinks he looks good. He's fucking pissed because he almost got hit by a car.
All I'd eaten for the last 3 months was vegetables. Can I just quickly interrupt again? What the fuck is this dude doing with his arms?
I'm fucking here, bro. I'm fucking here, bro. I'm fucking here, bro. I've already been to jail, bro. I ain't sorry going back.
I've been to jail, I'm not afraid of going back. Okay, I could have let this entire video slide. Obviously you were full of adrenaline, you were very upset, but to say something like that, it just reveals so much about your personality and your general demeanor.
Blah, blah, blah.
Honestly, you look like you've completely lost your
boring.
shit. This is one thing I see from vegans a lot. They're always at a 10. They're always very angry, screaming and yelling. It is not...
See, This is a funny thing. You're categorizing an entire group of people, which consists of millions of individuals, as always angry and always whatever. You're just painting your opponent as this big demon monster, so you don't have to face actually any of the actual arguments, right? You don't have to face any of the animal rights arguments or the ethical arguments about climate or just the health aspects of going vegan, how much more healthy that is. If you paint vegans as this, you know, automatically by going vegan, you're going to become a monster. So definitely don't go vegan. I don't have to face the arguments because I know you're going to become a monster, right? Do you not see that that's what you're doing? And it's embarrassing.
A good way to get your point across, but it is a great way to piss everyone else off, and then no one wants to listen to you. No one wants to hear your point of view, and men with beards will make fun of you on the internet.
That's fair.
And even if you eat a fully vegan diet, what about the cockroaches you kill, the ants you kill? Do they not matter? What about when...
All right. I don't know what exactly argument you're making here, but it sounds like you're making an argument that since you have an impact on the planet that will involve killing, you know, let's say ants and bacteria and other such things, that you have free reign to savagely murder and turn whatever creatures you want into hamburger as long as they're not human. Like, it sounds like that's what your argument is, which it only upon you need to think about it for 1 second and you realize how ridiculous that is. It doesn't give you free reign because you accidentally step on an ant or swat a mosquito, or as you're doing farming, you have to kill bugs to get the, I don't know, bugs off your, I'm not a farmer, like your grain or whatever, right? That doesn't give you free reign to go and, let's say, slit a dog's throat or stab a cow in the stomach or stab a cow in the neck or steal its baby away from, steal a baby cow away from the mother. It doesn't give you free reign to do those things because accidentally you did some killing or on purpose to like protect your crops. You killed some bugs that were on it or something like that. It's not, you know that.
When this giant machine, a combine harvester, runs through a field of wheat, it will, without fail, decapitate hundreds of little animals, including rabbits, little fawn, mice. Do they not matter? You can...
They of course they do matter. Of course they do matter, right? And this is kind of back to my other point. So you have a right to life. Everybody has a right to life. You have a right to defend your life. You have a right to, you know, keep your life going, right? And as humans, we should impose moral systems upon ourselves. This is how societies work. A really great moral system to impose that everyone should impose is if you can avoid causing suffering or violence, you should. Okay? Now, we have to feed everybody. We have to do farming kind of on this scale or else we can't feed people as efficiently. If there's a better way to do it, then we should be doing it. Okay? If there's a better way to do it, we should be doing it. But, you know, there is going to be some bykill when you're doing farming, right? Especially on an industrial scale, right? And that's unfortunate. And like I said, I wish there was another way. If we can avoid doing that, we should definitely avoid doing that. But sometimes it's not always possible. And I would accept that. If someone justified my death, they're like, we have to kill you because, look, we're doing this farming. Like, we're not intending to kill you. It's a mistake. But like, there's not really another way we have right now. You're gonna get chopped up in this thing, but we have to survive. I understand other beings' right to survive. Just like if a bear ate me, because I was like around the cubs or something like that, or it was really hungry, I wouldn't morally hold the bear responsible. I'd be like, fuck, this blows that I'm getting eaten by this bear. But you know, I would understand his position, right? The same is not true if like I was a cow and being stabbed in the neck for food that there's lots of other food around. You know, I would not accept that if I was the cow.
You can even look at the animal rights activist group, PETA. They kill more animals than anyone else.
All right, I'm not going to respond to that.
The point I'm trying to get across here is that it is virtually impossible to live a life where you do not harm animals.
Yeah, it is virtually impossible, for sure. Because if you think about even like where you get your clothes or where you get your like your food from, right? It comes from somewhere that eventually is, even if it's not directly killing animals, it's going to be displacing animals, or it's going to be using resources that other animals would have used. But you have the right to life. You have the right to live a life. You want to minimize your impact as much as possible. But yes, you do have a right, morally, in my opinion, to displace other creatures. Just like a gorilla, if a gorilla is living in the forest or whatever, it has the right to displace whatever, just its existence will displace other creatures around it. That's not a moral fault of the gorilla. It's not a moral fault of you for existing and taking up some resources. Everyone has the right to that and to displace those things around it. You just want to minimize that. It doesn't mean you can go around killing as much as you want whenever you want just to taste some hamburgers that you don't need.
Whether you like it or not, human beings are a part of the ecosystem. We're the king of the jungle, and I'm happy to stay there. I would not like...
Being a kid, so it just sounds like you haven't thought through these arguments at all, right? So you're saying we're the king of the jungle. Okay, yes, we're the king of the jungle. We're the smartest, one would argue in many respects, animal on the face of the earth, right? Still, does that give us moral right to go and kill indiscriminately whenever we want, or for taste, right? That no, if you can avoid causing suffering or injustice, you should. We don't need the hamburger. We don't need the steak. You don't need any animal product whatsoever to live a healthy, well-balanced way, okay? In fact, vegans have some of the longest life expectancy. Look at the blue zones. You want to live the longest, you should go vegan. Lowest heart disease, lowest diabetes by like 80%, okay?
To live in a world where we were second or third and we were getting eaten all the fucking time. Can we just stay where we are, please?
Vegans aren't suggesting that we lower ourselves in the food chain so we can be eaten by other animals.
There is one angry vegan YouTuber that I'd like to introduce you to. His name's Earthling Ed, and he recently released a video of him arguing with an angry farmer.
Tell you what, how will you kill a cow? How will you kill a cow? You're a natural meat eater. How do you kill a cow? You're a natural meat eater. You don't need to use weapons. Lions don't use weapons, do they?
Yeah, they've got their claws.
Exactly, but they're natural meat eaters. But if as a natural meat eater,
That is their weapon.
exactly.
Yes.
But as a natural meat eater, you shouldn't need to use guns or knives because you could kill the animals yourself naturally.
Okay, Ed, you've lost me already, because unlike a lion, I cannot kill a cow with my mouth. I'd have to use a weapon. But you know what, Ed? I could absolutely, without a doubt, fuck up a pigeon. And I might just do that. What about those little otters that use rocks to open up oysters and eat their meat? Are they not natural meat eaters?
Ultimate predator.
You're not the ultimate. You take a lion on. Fight a lion. Who's the ultimate predator?
You won't do it, you pussy. Fight a lion. Go on, fight a lion. You won't do it. What a fucking stupid argument.
Mate, I've got a gun. That's the
No,
brain.
but you can. But that's a device. Yes.
I guess in some respects, the argument's not that convincing that, you know, we're not predators. I could definitely see the meat eater position where we are predators because of the brain.
But you are not a natural meat eater. The word natural means nature.
Okay, sure, good point. Because guns aren't natural, are they? Well, they're made out of metal, which is derived from rocks, which comes from the ground, which is nature, which is natural.
Dumb.
But you don't have to eat both.
I can.
But you don't have to. But you don't have to. I can eat a dog. I can beat up a child.
You could beat up a child?
It's true. I actually side with Ed on this case. Surprise, surprise. The vegan sides with the vegan. But yeah, just because we can do something doesn't mean we should do that thing.
Ed, you were doing so well. You really need to calm down, my man bun wearing friend. This is the thing with veganism. It is a cult mentality, and they will say anything.
Again, you're painting all vegans with this light. Don't listen to them. They're a cult. You don't need to hear their arguments. They've got nothing good to say because they're a cult. Because they're all skinny. Because they're all malnourished. You want to be malnourished? You want to be skinny? You want to be part of a cult? Then be a vegan. Don't listen to their arguments. There's no need. And don't listen to my arguments.
And do anything to defend their ideologies.
Yeah, okay, so how do you morally justify killing an animal that doesn't want to die?
How do you know it doesn't want to die?
But no animal wants to die.
How do you know the animal doesn't want to die? Well, of course it doesn't want to die.
I mean, I'm surprised to hear you say that. That's actually a point of contention I have when I'm doing outreach. How do you know the animal doesn't want to die? I literally get asked that a lot, so happy to hear you say that you know that the animal doesn't want to die.
Dickhead. You blurry-faced motherfucker.
You got Nando's have vegan burgers, GBK's got vegan
But they
burgers.
still sell meat.
Yes, but they didn't used to have vegan burgers. They do now because the world is changing.
They have vegan burgers because of capitalism. Not because they love animals.
Yeah.
They know people like you exist, cultivated in this social media echo chamber that vegans live in. They don't give a fuck about animals. They give a fuck about products.
That's so true. That's so true. That's fine by me, by the way, right? Like, I love that. I love that vegans are actually creating some market demand in retail. Well, they're creating a lot of market demand in these large retail stores. That's great. Keep it up. Good job, vegans. Let's go. Woo!
And if they can sell vegan whatever to you, then they're gonna do it. Cockhead?
And no animal wants to die.
Can you speak to animals?
No, but can you?
Can you speak to animals? Nah, but you can't do it either. Fuck this video. Ed makes some realistic points later on in the video, mainly about
This is why I love Isaac. Like, I love that shit.
factory farming, which I absolutely agree with him on. Factory farming is perhaps the worst and best invention of humankind. The best because it keeps us well fed, but the worst because it treats animals in the most horrendous and horrific conditions you can possibly imagine.
I love that you're saying this, by the way. That's really great. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for appreciating that and recognizing that.
I'm not really sure how you fix factory farming, but it's certainly
I know how you fix factory farming. You stop paying for it. That will fix factory farming. You don't need the nutrients. Right now, Isaac, you'll never see this video because I'm such a small YouTuber, but if you ever did see this video, I want you to ask, do you require the nutrients in the steak? I know you love your steak. I know you love your burgers. I know you love your manliness, and you really identify with that point of view. But the question is, do you require the nutrients that are in there? And can you avoid buying those products because those are directly causing suffering or harm? You can't make a burger without harming something, right? If you don't need it, if you can avoid suffering or harm, I actually know you're a compassionate guy. I know you're a compassionate guy. I know you care about animals. I don't care what anyone else says. I know you fucking care about animals. I can tell you're a fucking compassionate guy. And I know you agree with the statement. If you can avoid causing pain and suffering to animals, you should. Right? So, just think about that. Just think about that. Think about the strength of character it would take for you to reverse course. Okay? And for you to become a vegan, because actually when you think about it, you don't have a justification for causing this suffering or injustice other than it tastes good or convenience or whatever. Okay? I actually believe that you can do it.
certainly something we need to look at. If you've got an idea of how to fix it, let me know in the comments below.
You have the idea. The vegans is the idea. That's the idea. That's the comment. That's go vegan. We've solved it, right? We need to stop factory farming, and I know you know that.
Below. As I said, I'm not angry at people who choose not to eat animal products.
And I'm not angry at you.
It's the vegans that treat meat eaters as lesser people because they refuse to subscribe to their cult ideologies.
See, it's like everyone hates being told that they're wrong. Everyone hates being told that they're wrong. Me especially. And I admit, if you look at some of my other videos, I wouldn't have gone vegan if I didn't develop type 2 diabetes. I would never even have opened my eyes to the possibility of being vegan. Never in a million years. So I actually hear what you're saying, okay? If people came up to me and told me that what I'm doing is morally wrong, like eating a burger is morally wrong, I was so mentally comfortable with eating burgers that I would easily say, you can go fuck yourself. And I'd publicly say that. I'd publicly say you can go fuck yourself. I'd be the guy taking a burger up to the vegans who are protesting and being like, look at this fucking burger I'm eating. All right? But since I've seen what's actually going on, and since I developed that health issue that forced me to kind of consider veganism, and that opened my eyes to what's happening to animals, it allowed me to reverse position on this. Okay? And I think that that's going to happen with you. Just relax your manliness and think about the animals. We have to stop this pain and suffering to animals. If we can avoid causing suffering and injustice to animals, we should. And I know you believe that's true.
These extremist vegans are not winning any fans, and they're not helping veganism in general. In fact, it's just making people not like you more. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this video, and that's okay, but for every single angry face emoji, every single hateful comment, and every single death threat that I get sent, I will eat one rump steak while I think of you. That is a direct threat, motherfucker. Hope you enjoy-
You're threatening an innocent creature who doesn't want to die for your own. I don't know. It's really a mean thing to say. It's a really mean thing to say and do. And I hope you look back on this and you're a little bit embarrassed in the future, because to do that, to eat that whatever steak meat product you said, you have to go and kill an innocent animal, or you have to pay someone to do that, right? And it's an innocent animal that doesn't want to die, and you don't need to kill it. So why would you do that? Why would you hurt an innocent animal that doesn't want to die? Don't do that.
Enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave it a like and subscribe. Make sure you check out my Patreon page as well. You can find out how you can support me. Also, I'm going on tour.
All right, so that's the video. I like Isaac. I actually think you're a compassionate guy. I think you're, I like your style. You swear at people a lot, and I kind of like that. And I like when I'm on the receiving end of that. I think it's kind of funny. And yeah, I just wish that you would consider the vegan argument and not treat all vegans as one lump, so that you don't have to consider the vegan argument. And yeah. Anyway, to my viewers, thank you so much for watching. You're one of the 10 subscribers, so I appreciate any time that you spent watching this video. Leave a comment or whatever. I don't know what you're supposed to do at the end of videos, but do that thing, all right? Jesus. Thank you.